I didn't see you there. I've been so busy polishing up my brand new Royal Enfield. Did I not tell you I got a brand new Royal Enfield? Well, I did, and it's awesome, and we're gonna talk about it. It's coming up, Fast Lane. All right, so let's get right into it. Why did I buy a Royal Enfield, and why did I buy the Hunter 350 specifically? Here's the deal. I've been looking for a second bike for a while. If you've watched the channel, you know that. I used to have the Rebel 300. I've got the Indian Scout Bobber, and I wanted a bike that I was able to ride to work, not worry about the rain. I'm gonna tell you this honestly, man. The Indian Scout Bobber is not a great bike in the rain. I don't like it. The fenders are too short. It sends water right up your back. You look like a skunk when you get into wherever you're going. And it just is, it's a big bike to jump on in the morning and get out there. And I just didn't feel very secure on corners and stuff with that bike. Nothing against it. It's just not a great commuter bike. And I am a guy that commutes to work, like all year long. If I have a bike that I feel comfortable on, when I had the Rebel 300, it was rain or shine, man. As long as the temperatures were not freezing. Actually, I went out in some freezing temperatures, but the roads were dry. I was out there. I don't recommend that, by the way. But as long as things were basically above freezing, I was on that bike, rain or shine. It didn't matter to me. And when I got the Indian Scout, it was kind of more of like a garage queen type of a bike. I wanted to keep it perfect, and I pretty much have. It's been out in the rain like maybe one, maybe two times. And the second time really wasn't very much rain. That bike just really it's for sunny days, it sits in the garage. I've kind of come to not enjoy it in a way because it's just in the garage all the time and I don't want to have to clean the thing. So what I really wanted to get was I wanted to get a bike that was economical, that I could go ahead and start commuting to work on again, rain or shine, didn't really matter, that looked cool, that rode awesome, and that I felt safe riding and commuting to work first thing in the morning. When you're tired, that's the thing. When you get up in the morning, you're already tired. You do not want to jump on a bike that you don't feel comfortable on. And it's not that I'm not comfortable on the Indian Scout, when I'm wide awake, but first thing in the morning, it feels like a lot to jump on that bike, wheel it out of the garage. It's a quite heavy bike compared to this one. It's definitely 100 and some pounds heavier than this. I don't know, man. It's not a great bike in the rain. I live in Oregon. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and we get a ton of rain here. So you need a bike that you can get out and you can ride in the rain. And I'm here to tell you, man, the Hunter 350, this is a bike that'll do it for you. So why Royal Enfield? Well, as many of you know, if you've been watching for any length of time, I kind of got really obsessed, OCD. I don't know what it was, but I got very, very interested in Royal Enfield. And I've been watching the different bikes, and I've kind of, there's been a dilemma for a while. I was like, do I get the Himalayan? Do I get the Scram 411? Do I get the Classic 350? The Meteor 350? Or when this one came out, I was really, really stoked. This is the Hunter 350, by the way. But this bike came out and it just had a little bit more of that kind of a scrambler look. It reminded me a lot of the Ducati Scrambler, which was a bike that had been on my list for a long time that I was very interested in using as a commuter. So the Hunter had the looks kind of that I was looking for, although I like Royal Enfield's other bikes. I mean, they have some very, very cool bikes. And just so you know, I was really more interested in their 350 line than I was, or their 411s than I was, going up to their 650s. They got the Interceptor and the Continental, and now they have the Super Meteor 650, which if you've watched me, you would know, and you should watch that video. But I just wanted a bike that was really economically priced, that looked really cool, that was very simple to maintain, and that I would feel comfortable riding in the rain. And I'm here to tell you, man, The Hunter 350 is it. This bike is going to get a lot of content on this channel. Royal Enfield is going to get a lot of content on this channel. We're going to have some fun with the bike. We're going to do a few mods. As we move forward, I will definitely be showing you what I like about the bike, what I don't like about the bike, what initially my first thoughts are. I'll take you on some rides and such. I've already ridden the bike. I've ridden it to work several times this week. And I'm just going to say, man, I love L-O-V-E. I freaking love this bike. The Hunter 350 was really kind of billed as like a bike maybe for like younger people, a younger audience, you know, Royal Enfield trying to capture people that maybe were going to other brands. And I think they absolutely nailed it, but I do not think that is where this bike stops. I don't think it's just for a younger audience. Do I think it would be great for maybe a new rider? Yes. It's so easy to ride. This bike is amazingly, let me say it again. This bike is amazingly easy to ride. It is so nimble. It feels so light. Matter of fact, if you go down and you try several Royal Enfields and you just get on them, you will notice right away that this is the most lightest feeling bike in the fleet. And I think it is the lightest bike in their whole fleet. So I'd sat on them all. I'd pushed them around. I'd felt, you know, the center of gravity on all these bikes. And this one just kept popping up to me. And I don't know, man, this is a cool bike. So this particular one right here is called the Dapper Gray, kind of a lower price point than the next one, which jumps up, I don't know, $300 or $500 or something. And that's when you get into the Rebel colors, and that's where you get that blue and white one. You get two-tone paint, but dude, this thing looks cool. I was super attracted by this dark metallic gray paint and the black, and then of course, this little red accent. It's got red accents on the wheels too, and the bike just pops. I'd been tempted with the blue, you know, the Rebel Blue, which is a blue and white matte bike, but I kept coming back to this one, man. This one just kept calling me, and luckily they had this one in stock. So while we're at it, I do want to give a huge shout out to my buddy, Eric Sabatino, up in St. John's, Portland, Oregon, essentially, Sabatino Moto. Dude, if you are in the Northwest and you want a fantastic experience buying a bike and you want to go to a place where they're going to treat you like family, they're going to treat you so good, and I am not endorsed or paid by these guys any way, shape, or form. They are just a grassroots style company. I cannot say enough about Sabatino Moto. I'm going to throw the address up here for you. If you're looking for a bike, I did my purchase completely online. It was literally the simplest purchase I've ever done on any kind of a vehicle. And Eric, I just want to thank you so much, you and your team there. They delivered the bike down to Eugene for me from Portland for just a small fee. So I didn't have to put those highway miles, or, you know, that's not really what this bike is for. We'll talk about that more as we move forward. But I super want to encourage you guys, if you're in Portland, you're in Salem, you're in some of these surrounding areas, even if you're up in like Vancouver, come down, go to St. John's, check out Sabatino Moto, check them out online. I mean, they have all their inventory online. Matter of fact, the day I bought the bike, maybe that night, they pulled it off their website. A lot of places are not that in tune, okay? So you look on there and it's already sold. No, I went back and looked and the bike was already pulled down. It's quality service, guys, okay? They also carry some really cool gear, like the line of Torque gear, which I think is a really cool kind of a retro-y style gear, which actually goes really, really well with these kind of bikes. Now, I gotta say, I feel like having a Royal Enfield now, I am absolutely like bit by the Royal Enfield bug. And I'm going to promise you, I will guarantee it, this is not going to be the last Royal Enfield that I have. Have I talked about the price point? This bike, okay, is at about, it's somewhere around
$39.99.
Now it's going to cost you more out the door because there's shipping fees, there's dock fees, there's fees that go along with motorcycles, okay? You're never going to get out the door. Very rarely. It can happen, but very rarely you're ever going to get out the door without that. This bike, all complete, license, title, registration, everything, $5,100, okay? 3-year, full factory warranty, unlimited miles. That is fantastic. You can do a lot of the work on the bike yourself. It's super simple. It's basic. These are great bikes to work on. That's one thing I'm super excited about. Now, the Indian Scout, and I'm not dissing on it, but if something really catastrophic went wrong with that bike, there's no way I'm tearing into that bike. This bike, I would absolutely tear it apart and fix the bike myself if need be. The other thing about Royal Enfield, their parts are incredibly, incredibly cheap. It's really cheap to get aftermarket stuff for these bikes, to replace parts. I don't know, man. I just can't say enough great things about this little bike. One thing I really love about this bike is the fact that it has cast wheels. That was something that really stood out to me because I'm not really a spoked wheel guy, because as a commuter, you know, if you get a flat, man, it's kind of an ordeal. You got to take the whole tire off and go get it fixed, and it's not like something you can fix really rapidly. With a regular cast style wheel, if you get a hole or nail or screw or something, you can pull that sucker out and you can put a plug in it and you're good to go for at least for a while until you can get the thing repaired. What other features just initially pop out to me about this bike that I think are so cool? It has a center stand. You can basically pop this bike up on the center stand. You can lube your chain, you can adjust your chain, you can take off your rear wheel. It makes maintaining your bike way, way easier, and you might not even need a motorcycle stand with this style of a bike with a center stand. This bike also comes with fork gaiters, which I think are super cool. I mean, that's just kind of an extra. A lot of people like put those on, you know, and it's already on here, and that was something that definitely attracted me to the Hunter 350. It's got a huge headlight. Everything on it is just halogen. There's no LEDs on this. You can upgrade that if you want to. It's got a super simplistic dash. I really like that. It actually has a little digital part, but a lot of it's analog. And the digital part, it just looks like, you know, Namaguchi.
That's a Tamagotchi, the one and only from Bandai, each sold separately.
I don't want to fiddle with electronics, dude. That is not why I ride motorcycles. I am not interested in that in any way, shape, or form. You take your ride modes, you take your electronics, you go do it. That's great. For me, I just want to get on a bike. I want it to be simple, easy, and that is what the Hunter 350 is. It is a simple, easy bike to ride, all kinds of weather. Dude, you're gonna love it. Nimble. This bike is incredibly, incredibly nimble. If you're in a place where you can lane filter, now we're not. Oregon, you can't do lane filtering. You can't, lane splitting, whatever you want to call it. You cannot do that here, okay? But if you were, this bike is super slim, it's super nimble, and you're gonna be able to lane split like to your wildest dreams. Gas mileage, that's another factor on these bikes. A lot of people are saying they're getting 80 and more miles to a gallon. Now, I'm kind of a bigger guy. I'm about 230-ish right now. I probably need to lose a few pounds actually. But I'm gonna be really curious to see what kind of gas mileage I get on this thing, even being a bigger guy. I kind of expect it to be a little lower for my size. You're carrying a little bit more weight. And I also like to ride the bike a little bit more aggressively. It does on the dash have an eco mode that comes on that basically shows you, like, hey man, if you were shifted out of this gear, you would be doing better. If the eco mode's on, you're saving fuel. If it's off, you've kind of went red line a bit and it's a little more sporty, and I get it. I like to ride like that. But if you're really conscious about saving fuel, you keep it in that eco mode. And I was looking at it today when I rode it, just kind of watching, trying to stay in that. You're gonna get a lot better gas mileage. It's a comfortable bike. The seat, that is a very, very comfortable seat. Absolutely blows away the Honda Rebel 300, the 2017 I had. Not even close. This seat is so comfortable. Blows away the Indian Scout seats I have, including the bobber seat. Also the Syndicate seat. This one, way, way more comfortable. You could just get on this thing and ride for a long time. Another thing this bike has that's super great, it is full ABS, and that comes standard. If you get on the other side of the world, you get into Europe and these places, ABS is just standard on everything, okay? The United States, I'm not sure why it hasn't kind of got there yet. It's getting there. It's there in vehicles, without a doubt. You can't go out and buy a car that's not ABS anymore. It just doesn't happen. But with motorcycles, you still have the option. And I realize if you're going off-road and stuff, you might not want ABS. But when you're in the streets, I think ABS is pretty sweet. And it's very sweet that it comes with these Royal Enfields standard. Fit and finish of this bike is very, very nice. The welds look really good. I mean, I think when you kind of compare this model to like maybe say like the Himalayan and the welds on those bikes, they just look, they're just not as tight, okay? This has the Harris frame, newly designed frame, which Royal Enfield just acquired Harris frames here a while back. And this frame is designed specifically for this bike. And it just looks so good. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I love this bike. I'm gonna do some mods and show you how to do some things. I will definitely show you some of the maintenance things that need to be done on a motorcycle. If you're looking for a first bike, I'm gonna absolutely recommend Royal Enfield. They have several bikes in the fleet that you could absolutely jump on, not be scared. They're not overly powerful, are balanced very well, especially the 350 line, man. Those bikes are very approachable. You're never gonna feel scared on those bikes. You could be a new rider, you could start and feel very comfortable on one of those bikes. Oh, did I mention the brakes are by Brembo? And the price point is just absolutely fantastic to get into these bikes. These are perfect commuter motorcycles. Like if you were a college student and you needed to get back and forth and you needed to get like to your job or something, this would be a fantastic option for you. The Hunter especially, man, for in town, this bike is killer. Oh, last but not least, one thing I forgot to say, right now, this video, I'm making this is February of 2024, Royal Enfield has some amazing financing offers. I am not sponsored, I'm not paid, nobody's giving me anything to say this stuff. If you've got great credit, you could qualify for 0% interest on your bike for 2 years. It goes up a little bit if you want to go like maybe 1 year or 2 years, it goes to like 1.9. Then as you go up, it goes to like 3.9, 2.9, 3.9, something like that. And that now includes the Hunter, the Scram, regular Meteor 350, and the Classic. Dude, now's the time. If you want to get a great deal on a bike, and if your credit's pretty good, go through their financing, man. You're going to get a killer deal. If you've got great credit, you could literally get a bike with 0% interest, and your payments are going to be like, I don't know, $215, $230 a month for 2 years. So cheap. Other thing is, the insurance on these bikes. I'm paying $18 a month for this beast. Once again, a super big thanks to Eric Sabatino and Sabatino Moto in Portland, St. John's. If you're in that area, go get a bike from them, man. What's your problem? If you like what you're seeing here, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I super appreciate it. Helps these videos go all around the world. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. More to come. It's Fastlane.